Yeah, Film Vault. Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. That is Anderson. I'm Bryan Bishop. We're your hosts for today. Oh, we're gonna bleed this baby dry. We're wringing all the goodness out of this week. I saw Knock at the Cabin. We both saw Aftersun.
You're ringing the chamois? You're ringing the chamois?
Right, the ShamWow. That guy. Do you ever see that guy's mugshot?
No. He got arrested?
No, he's all beat up. It was bad times.
I think it was a mugshot, though. I think he was involved in an altercation.
Yeah. He was like, what are we doing? We're starting the show with this? But yeah, apparently he had a run-in with a lady of the night.
11 years ago.
What?
The lady of the night, yeah, in his mugshot, he was all beat up in the mugshot.
What?
Look at the mugshot.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys enter the show. I'm going to find out.
As well as a couple of listener-assigned movies, Night in Paradise and Dark Passage. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of films to discuss.
Did you say after? You said Aftersun?
Yeah, I said it. So we both saw Aftersun.
It got lost in the ShamWow talk, Brian. I don't know if that was the appropriate place to
That's true. I did kind of
wedge that in.
Aftersun, Oscar-nominated film, will be discussed by us both.
What's the meaning of this? That's a new thing that I'm working into stuff.
Okay.
You know, like we do top 5, quotes that you quote most often.
Right.
I quote movie quotes. This is happening in real time, and it's a new one. But I find myself saying it all the time. It takes people people are taken aback when you just ask them very casually, like, "What's the meaning of this?"
Yeah.
Like, and I got it from Rainn Wilson in Weird. He says at the pool party, the pool party scene.
Demento.
Yeah, he gets very, very upset with Wolfman Jack, and he says, "What is the meaning of this?" Wolfman Jack says, "I'm just here to see the new kid."
That was a great scene.
Oh, so good.
That was enjoyable.
Such a great scene. Yeah. All right. Hey. It's gonna be a big episode, like you already kind of alluded to, but I didn't feel like you actually meant it, so I'm bringing the heat, and I'm backing you up by saying that he is correct.
I have a very disingenuous air about me. So
you really do.
By all means.
I don't know what that is, and I can't say that I like it.
I was joking.
About
what's the meaning of this?
What is the meaning of your lack of enthusiasm, your lack of affect, Brian? I'm not a fan. I would like to point out that once again, Gio, he's the listener that keeps on giving. He pointed out
dying over there.
Yeah, getting over a cold from 2 weeks ago. I had the cough button activated, and he still mentioned it.
Gio pointed out to us that the very first time you and I, fuckheads that we are, sat down behind microphones, was 20 years ago this month. Oh my God! I mean, that's a milestone.
You had probably sat down behind a microphone before that.
Oh yeah, I mean I did it nightly.
But we sat down together to record what would become the film. You didn't say it.
First time I ever sat down behind a microphone, like in like where people were actually hearing shit, like on terrestrial radio, was like 96, I guess. But yeah, like
anyway, back to
7 years later. Yes. I'm doing it with you, much to my chagrin.
Oh,
and,
it's a real downgrade.
Had no idea that anyone would ever hear that. But what
was meant to be a demo.
Yeah, it was a demo.
We were like making a demo again on some
with the fake callers too.
I know. Those are my friends.
Since foolishly released it as a Patreon bonus episode. It's part of the archive.
That's a mistake.
Oh, I know. It's out there. February 2003. Real Beat was the first time we ever.
We could probably narrow down the date because I think find out when.
No, that's not.
It shouldn't be too hard to find.
No, because Cradle to the Grave was just coming out, and we did are you excited about this? Mm-hmm. It was not a good segment.
Also, we should say this.
It's a DMX vehicle.
We should say this. That vehicle's parked permanently.
That's right. The vehicle is the engine taken out.
Speaking of parked, things are getting worse with my school.
I was gonna say I heard an update.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Cradles to the Grave was 2003.
Yeah. What's the actual date of release? The
actual date of release was February.
Okay, what is the actual date of release on week
28th?
Okay,
2003.
Okay. All right, so the end of February. So hey, we're closing the 20-year.
Narrows it down.
All right, yeah. So the cop and we had words.
We had words. The coalition.
You ran it out.
Is the coalition coalescing?
I verbally accosted this cop, the school.
You can't do that.
I did. I can't help myself.
I thought
You're going to end up on national news. Where
so you left your days of assaulting cops behind you.
I'm talking to his boss tomorrow. That I could tell you.
Oh, I love that.
Court?
No, not in court. Phone call. You should hear how nice he is too. All right, I'll be talking more in depth about that on the after disaster. That's not the place for this. Not here. Hey, you and I are going to be watching a little movie this month with the listeners.
Okay.
People,
because you got to assign
on Patreon. I get to assign, and I'm very excited to let you know that we're going to be watching it's a little on the nose for me. I know that, but I went back and forth. I'm like, you know what? I bet a lot of people have not seen Eraserhead yet.
Have you
I bet they have not seen Eraserhead yet. You and I have seen Eraserhead. We are going to bask in the glory that is Eraserhead. We're going to enjoy Eraserhead.
I've only seen it once.
So troubling.
It is very troubling, but it'll be so much fun to watch. So if you have not seen Eraserhead yet and you would like to watch it with us, we will be doing that this month from the comfort of my own home on my couch. Drinks will be involved, at least for me, and I might even invite my young son in to take a peek at the child.
Hey, look at the baby.
Look at the baby with the spots, buddy.
He's sick.
What do you think that is?
He's sick.
What do you think that thing is?
What about Trump versus the Illuminati? Didn't make the cut?
It didn't. We watched some of that last month. We didn't talk to you about that.
No.
Yeah, we spot checked it after we were finished with Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and it did not delight.
No, left something to be desired.
It got very tedious very quickly.
Really?
Very quickly. Yeah.
I find that hard to imagine.
You know why? First of all, okay, it's best left as an idea and not seen because
or executed as a
there's
good
no
idea.
actors. It's completely animated.
So it's just voiceover.
And there's not even any faces. Like Trump, I'm making air quotes, is just narrating his thoughts behind like a
space
drop
mask,
visor.
This is Trump versus the Illuminati, which came out a couple years ago. We didn't know about it. Avery suggested he stumbled across it. I think that he was looking for something Trump related.
Truman Show.
Piped up. What did I say? So he says. He says. It showed up on the old Prime.
I was looking for Trump and I actually stumbled on Truman Show.
Trump.
I tried the same test at home and I had to put in the full Trump to get it on
Truth. Inconvenient truth.
But yeah, it's a. I think it was a COVID movie, maybe like somebody just had too much time on their hands.
It's not a movie.
It's like an hour and 15 minutes of voiceover with questionable.
Some pretty first-gen animation.
First-gen animation. It was almost like something you put together for like a video game you're thinking about making.
Yeah. Yes, it's a spec. It's a still real.
Yeah, with some voice actors that weren't really hitting the mark. It might have been funny as like a zine or something, right?
Yeah, or SNL sketch. You know what I mean?
Hour and 23 minutes.
No, if you had boiled it down to like 2.5 minutes, it'd be funny.
Corrections and retractions from last week.
Eraserhead. Eraserhead streaming on HBO Max.
HBO Max is where
Criterion channel.
We'll be watching that, yes. So Eraserhead will be seen by all of us.
Rentable.
It'll be a really fun one to watch along with, I think.
Fun?
Yeah, fun. And I'll have a bunch of it's a really fun one because it's David Lynch's first feature, and he shot it up at AFI, and there's a whole lot of interesting and fun facts that come along with it as well, which I will bring to the program because there's a lot of downtime too to be talking and just kind of asking
visuals.
Questions. You seen it, Avery?
Yeah.
All right.
Only once. It was in high school, but I've seen it.
Last week, I suggested, I was just talking off the cuff as I like to do, and I suggested that Sam Raimi was the cinematographer for the old Arizona, Raising Arizona, which it was just foolish.
It was Sonnenfeld.
It was Barry Sonnenfeld, and I conflate the two because what I was thinking of is Sam Raimi did, and this is all just off the top of my head because I used to be such a film nerd for Coen Brothers. He directed a movie that the Coen Brothers wrote called Crime Wave, which I watched with such excitement and anticipation and did not hit the mark. But Sam Raimi directed a movie called Crime Wave, which was written by the Coen Brothers.
So they're both Coen adjacent.
Obviously, he did not do. I don't think he's ever been a cinematographer.
They're
even
in the
though
Coen zone.
He's got actually maybe he was a cinematographer for some of his early
I thought
work.
Coen zone was actually very clever.
Not bad. It's not terrible. So my apologies. I heard from a few of you, and I appreciate you pointing out my mistakes so I can correct them. I don't like to give false information, erroneous information here in the program. However, if you talk as much as I do, chances are something will be wrong.
What's your son's name?
You're a good-looking guy, Brad.
That's really hurtful.
What? I didn't say what part.
I tried to throw one out there for you and have a little fun with, and you came back with Venom.
You're a good-looking guy. I like looking across the table. You're not a bad-looking guy,
my
Brad.
beard. It's looking kind of even now.
Yeah. I mean,
You're looking more like a director every day.
Thank you.
Try this one.
I'm not directing the film.
Your headphones aren't comical.
See, now I know that you mean the opposite.
See, but I'm like 50-50. I'm half right. I mean, I've only made 50% of the mistakes. So.
Okay.
All right, because you're not a bad.
You're gonna get some
guy.
corrections.
All right, you ready to go?
Is there anything else to talk about?
Oh, I mean, you called me today, which is rare. That's rare that we talk off air. But Bryan called me.
We're gonna talk in 5 hours, but I'm gonna talk to you now.
He wanted to pitch me a reason why he thought that my idea was bad.
I want to pitch you an alternative idea.
Yeah, so I got to show you the break too, just the list. But okay, so what we've been doing the last few weeks now is we've been doubling up and watching a couple listener assigned movies each week. And we got to do that because we did fall a little bit behind during the holidays. And there was some craziness. I was out of town. Brian was in the hospital at times. And sometimes Brian just completely forgets that he was assigned a movie by a listener.
This is all true.
So, we're a little bit in it. And I'm the one who manages all that, the Patreon assigned movies. And it stresses me out to see that we're behind. And I'm also the one that receives the emails from people saying, hey, I've been owed a movie for well over 6 months now. You guys, they're always very nice about it, right? But I feel bad. So we're trying to do a little catch up. We're doing pretty good the last few weeks. And then Brian called me up and said, hey, I got a lot of Oscar movies to catch up. This is recording from the actual.
Oh, you play. Go ahead and press play.
Yeah, push play. I got a lot of Oscar movies that I got to catch up on here. And it's concerning me. I don't know if it's good for the show to be doing so many listener assignments.
That's weird. It's weird when you hear yourself. It's so different than how you hear yourself in your own head.
So we came to an agreement.
I have a rich baritone in my own head, but apparently not.
I think we're gonna do an extra movie for the next few weeks, every other week where we can. Brian's, I guess, what really got you over the edge was you knew that I didn't see Knock on the Cabin fucking Door or whatever, right? Which
my overall point, I didn't care that much. Yes, I guess I cared a little bit. But my overall point was, we shouldn't be not addressing movies that are in the public discourse at the just because we're trying to squeeze in as many as we can at one time.
And I assured you that I would not have been seeing that movie regardless, much like I have not seen Meet the Feebles. Oh, I'm sorry, The Fabelmans. Very different movies.
Meet the Fabelmans.
Meet the Fabelmans. How many people do you think see Meet the Feebles, Peter Jackson's early work, by mistake when they're trying to watch The Fabelmans? Because that would make me so happy to be in that room.
It's got to be less than 80%.
It's happened though, right? Meet the Feebles.
Considering I was going for Truman Show and I got Trump versus the Illuminati, it's
right.
not a real possibility.
It's digital world we live in. You see,
especially because I've not seen Feebles. Fabelmans.
Or Bad Taste. You ever seen any of those early works, Peter Jackson? Very offensive. Very, very offensive puppet work.
I will not be seeing them.
Entrails have their own voice.
No. Yeah. Well, we could watch for our watch along if you want.
We might have to one day because that'd be a fun watch along as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do Feebles.
Meet the Feebles. All right. So, yeah, I wouldn't have watched M. Night's 60% or whatever movie that he's got out in theaters right now.
Meet the Feebles only on Tubi with ads.
That's tough. It's a tough sell. Speaking of Tubi and ads, so if you'd like to just run groupers in the background or share groupers, it's on Tubi for free, and that's the only way that my distributor makes money, and Jeffrey Bezos makes less. So feel free to watch groupers for free.
On that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like maybe
every fire up groupers on Tubi.
Maybe this is like all, and I split this with my producer. $80 a quarter is what I'm seeing on groupers. I don't know if I should be admitting that, but that's what my distributor tells me is coming in for me.
For you personally. That's not bad. You make less off a book typically.
Oh, I mean, I didn't get in it for the money, but that tells me not enough people are watching this thing. So, yeah.
Yes.
Shrinkage is just clearing about $16K a quarter.
Shrinkage did well, but not to the tune of $16K. No. Hey, if you want a copy of Shrinkage, I'll sign that shit for it. Go to brianbishop.com.
I still haven't got one.
You really don't? I'll fucking give you one.
You can have mine.
I got about
it's missing the forward.
Got about 200. You son of a bitch. It's not missing. It's just in a landfill somewhere.
It's in a landfill. I'd also like to thoughts and prayers, as I say, to Florence and her family. And to her family, she's going through some stuff.
Oh no!
With a close family member, and I know that we all love Florence Brummer. And thoughts and prayers to Florence.
This is terrible.
Going through some stuff. Yes. So
first I heard about it. That's very sad.
I offered to give her your book as well.
She's like, I'm good.
She bought one.
She's trying to feel better.
She bought yours.
I sold her mine for $5.
It says to Anderson.
No, that was in the forward that I used to pick up dog.
Oh, okay. Good.
All right. We're going to hear a little Fanflicksions.
I, for one, would like to know what the people have seen. And if there's someone who can do that for us.
You really did pick up dog shit with the forward.
I did.
That was a good video.
I was making jokes on Vine. What are you going to do? I would never do that today.
I forgot about Vine.
It's a good video. Fanfliction.
I love that you remember that, Avery.
Oh, it was great. It was formative. Compiled by the Mitch Burns. Abby Kitzmiller on Facebook. I saw Knock at the Cabin. It was okay. M. Night Shyamalan completely changed the last third of the book. It was a book? For reasons I do and do not understand. Also, his cameo in this was this one was way too long and completely stupid. And what was the deal with all the extreme close-ups? Did anyone else think it was odd? Question mark? Question mark? Knock at the Cabin FVT score. Do we want to guess?
75.
Yeah, it's got to be around. I would say 65, 75.
36.
No way. Wow, I'm shocked.
The people did not enjoy. They wish there was no Knock at the Cabin. Stay away from the cabin. Edward Pretty on Facebook. A good woman is hard to find. Canopy. I really enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. Was well written, and the antagonist was a lot of fun.
Which one was that?
That was A Good Woman is Hard to Find.
We watched it a few weeks ago,
Not
Brian.
familiar, not familiar.
Are you kidding me? You're joking, right?
No, I just didn't hear the title.
Okay.
What is a woman? Joe Fleischer on Twitter saw Bill Nighy's performance in Living yesterday.
How does
that.
one see this?
Nice, slowly paced film in a good way with great supporting actors. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
And finally, Suds McDangles, great name, on Instagram. I watched Fire of Love with the wife. It was very interesting to see all the old footage of the volcanoes that they got. They are such an awesome force, and I'm glad one of the outcomes of their research was that it saved thousands of lives from the jaws of the Krakatoa eruption. I don't mind the narrator's voice. After a while, you forget how annoying it is in favor of the fantastic video footage of the volcanic activity, like a buffet for your eyes. I wish I saw this in IMAX. That would have been great.
A Good Woman That's Hard to Find was gifted to us by John Campbell just a few weeks ago, Brian. And of course, if you need to dismember a body, watch this movie first.
yeah, it's a real how-to.
It is a how-to, and it also kind of, I think, gives you an idea of what you're going to be dealing with, so you're not
It's also
no
empowering.
surprises.
It's empowering.
Hey, what else we got? What else do we do on this year program? I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was now.
Is that it?
That is it.
All right.
This concludes the readings of Mitch Burns.
Do you want me to roll right into Knock at the Cabin, Anderson? Because you have not seen. What?
No, just go carry on, buddy. Carry on.
Okay. I'll just talk about Knock at the Cabin since I've seen it. Knock at the Cabin is a 2022 film directed by Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. Might be familiar with his previous work. Starring Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, who you may know as the King from Hamilton, we like so much.
We did, yes. He's also in Criminal. I watched interviewing criminals, serial killers, and I can't really. I always want to say Criminal Minds, but that's not it.
Okay.
Mind of a Serial Killer.
Thank you for that valuable contribution.
Oh, it's very good, and he's very different.
Ben Aldridge, Kristen Cui is C-U-I, so I'm not sure exactly how to spell that or pronounce it. Nikki Amuka Bird, Abby Quinn, and Rupert Grint. Yes, Ron Weasley returns to the screen. We have not seen him too much over the last few years. He was actually very good. 68% of Rotten Tomatoes is in theaters now. Anderson, I got to tell you,
Oh, Christ.
as one who has seen Knock at the Cabin, first of all, I was very shocked and a little disappointed at our Film Vault
38?
Rotten Tomatoes score, 36 or 38, whatever it was.
36, yes.
36. Very disappointed because I found this to be a good movie. In fact, I found this to be a very good movie.
Is this going to crack the Vaulties?
No, I can't see this making a top 5 at the end of the
And
year.
that would be next year as well.
But for,
Oh, that's true.
But for what M. Night Shyamalan should be doing with this point in his career, making really effective, elevated horror like genre pictures, this is a double off the wall or a double down the line. This is exactly what he should be doing with his talents wisely. Not an original screenplay, Anderson. He adopted it from a book, like what our listener alluded to. I haven't read the book, so I don't know if the ending is worse or better or similar. All I know is he acquired the script, which I think was on the blacklist at one point, of this adaptation of the book. The book is called The Cabin at the End of the World, and he did a rewrite on it, as a lot of directors do, and came out with a very solid product. I have this in the second tier of M. Night Shyamalan movies. Like this to me is up there with Unbreakable and Split.
How many tiers are there?
Well, there's their Sixth Sense is a masterpiece. You're never going to do any better than that. He's never going to. Unbreakable and Split, I had right below that in the second tier, and now I got to include Knock at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin is a really you've seen the trailer. They explain the plot.
I have not.
You have not.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I actually don't understand it either.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and just summarize.
Is this the twist, though? I think this is the twist. I think I'm going to figure out the twist. He bought the rights to this book, got the script, then he rewrote the end, and the original script had like a really good twist, and then he made no twist.
You know what?
Was that the twist?
That is on the table because
That would be a twist.
I don't know. I don't think this is saying too much. There is not the signature M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end of this movie.
You just fucked everyone, Brian. You didn't have to say that. Everyone's going to be waiting for a twist. Now they know.
Maybe I'm alleviating people from that anxiety, and they can enjoy the film. Now, here's the tried and true formula how the Film Vault works. I talk up a movie. I said, I was pleasantly surprised by this. I actually ended up liking it quite a bit. Anderson crosses his arms, metaphorically and literally, and goes to see it, and comes back and his expectations are way too high, and he says, wasn't that good?
Brian,
so you can expect that in a couple weeks.
Too many really... No, that doesn't happen. I don't go see movies after you watch them, come back and rerun the program with my take. No one cares. And
no, you'll assign this to him in 7 months.
That's how it works.
On 4th of July, you'll assign this to him.
Yes.
This
It's streaming now.
On Max soon.
In fairness to Brian, I assigned him Lady in the Water, which I also enjoyed more than I thought I would, and he came back with very negative reviews on that.
That was pretty bad.
This is your Lady in the Water.
No, this is way better than Lady in the Water.
But no, I was going to pay you a compliment and say, hey, you know what? Like 3-4 years ago, Brian says that he thought this was better than it was supposed to be, and he actually enjoyed it. I'd be like, it means nothing. But now it kind of means a little something. He's gotten a lot
move
better.
the needle.
Yeah. Brian, actually, I trust him with his movie taste more than ever before.
That's really nice of you to say.
Even if he thinks...
Wait, is this the other thing where you're saying the opposite?
No. Oh, I'm wrong. Erroneous. No, because I said that you were 3 or 4 years
Listen,
ago.
him.
I wouldn't have cared.
Sure.
I would have said, who cares? But
now
that would mean that like 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been like, oh, really? You think it's good?
But now you got new Brian. I will tell you, the acting is solid top to bottom.
I mean, it should be.
The kid is great. The little girl, she's probably, I don't know, 7 or 8. She's fantastic. I'm going to throw this out to you, Anderson, not having seen this, but you're familiar with M. Night Shyamalan's work. Is he second only to Steven Spielberg in terms of directors who direct kids really well, child actors? Because he has a real record now of having solid child performances in his movies. Of course, Spielberg, probably the all-time GOAT. But I think Shyamalan's right nipping at his heels.
Well, I know she's new.
Haley Joel was nominated for an Oscar.
It's her directorial debut, so she's probably not in the running yet. But Charlotte Wells, I'd have to say, is very good at directing.
I think we'll need a little more body of work.
Yeah, perhaps.
Before we
I'm
start
talking about Aftersun, of course, because she directed.
I have
Frankie.
I have Chris Columbus in 3rd place.
Oh, okay. Because he did all the Harry Potter
Harry
stuff.
Potter, Home Alone. You know, you got some good performances out of this.
I've never really thought that much about like who directs kids well. You know what I have thought about is how thankful I am M. Night Shyamalan didn't get his mitts on Pi, Life of Pi, because he was supposed to do Life of Pi at one point, and my God, he would have had like that tiger, singing and dancing at the end, and it would have been all just a fever dream of the young boy in the boat. He would have just ruined that thing so horrifically.
So should I bother recapping the plot or the first act? You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, I'm talking all over you. People are interested in this movie.
So it gets right into it. It doesn't waste any time. Like the movie opens with the little girl played by Kristen Cui. She's in the forest. She's playing with dolls or something. I don't even know what it is. And out comes Dave Bautista, and she's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Hi, you're so and so." And she's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I'm here to." Blah, blah, whatever he says to her. And she's like, "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers." And he's like, "I understand." He's actually very approachable, very personable, but he's obviously a little bit agitated. And she goes back to her cabin, which is 50 feet away, and says to her, Daddy Eric and Daddy Andrew. She has gay dads, played by Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge. She says, "Hey, there was a weird guy who kind of came up to me outside," and they look out the window, and it's Dave Bautista and 3 accomplices, the 4 horsemen, as it were, approaching the cabin.
Oh, I have seen this trailer.
Yeah, and things happen. Mm-hmm. They become a hostage situation, and they explain what their real purpose is, which again is in the trailer, but maybe I shouldn't say. But they are. We talked about. I don't think have we ever done top 5 like principled villains? I think we did or did not.
Sympathetic.
We did sympathetic,
and we did villains. We definitely did villains way back in the day when we began this.
No, I know, but I'm saying these are They are there for a reason they believe is noble, a reason they believe is purposeful.
We did something like that.
It was sympathetic villains, I think.
It might have been. Yeah.
I had Ed Harris on there from The Rock.
I had Grumpy Buff Grimace on there from Marvel.
Oh, Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos. Yeah, right.
That was a long way around. Yeah, he'd be more of a.
He's doing it for the Earth, right? He's doing it for the
Yeah,
planet.
he's a principal villain. He at least has a point of view. He's trying to actually improve things.
He's not just like,
it's through
I will control you.
ultimate power.
Yeah.
No, it's not that.
That's like Starscream over there. Why Starscream? Why do you want to be in charge of everything?
I'm gonna go. Sorry, he could name himself king.
He just crowned him.
His reign lasted all of 30 seconds.
Much funnier when you explain what happens in Transformers the movie, the cartoon from '86, than when I sat down with my son and watched it while you were in the hospital. I couldn't believe how terrible it was. It was shocking.
I will say this
shockingly
to
bad.
wrap up my thoughts on Cabin in the Woods, Knock at the Cabin in the Woods. Shockingly emotional at the end.
No, Brian, you on some kind of treatment though right now?
No.
Because you have a daughter?
It might be. But you know what though? It didn't get properly dusty, but it was enough to make me clench my jaw. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, outside of The Sixth Sense, which climaxed before the big twist.
You climaxed it?
No. Climaxes with a really great emotional scene with what's her fuck, Toni Collette. I've never been stirred to any emotion other than rage by an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
That's not true.
Name one.
Sixth Sense.
I said aside from that.
Oh, you said
fantastic.
Things? You said things before all that lead up?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing in Unbreakable? Nothing?
Unbreakable is just
Unbreakable is a great white knuckle ride, especially when the kids like holding the gun on them and stuff.
I'm trying to think
That's
if
great.
Any
not
form of
that's
dust.
especially emotional.
Yeah.
Unbreakable. I just don't understand why people give it such a pass. It's
a good movie.
When you think about stats, though, and I don't want to give
It
anything
is fun.
away,
I do
it's
like Unbreakable.
so ridiculous. Like the method that he's going. There's 7 billion people in the world. It would take him tens of thousands of years to find his.
I agree, but you can only do what you can do.
You could rewrite.
I can see a world in which evil Giovanni does that.
What's
I
that?
could see a world in which evil Giovanni does that.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got a lot of vitriol, a lot of anger. Hey, will you do me a favor, Avery, and read the last, refresh my memory, that last fanfliction?
Yes, it was the Fire of Love. That one?
Oh, yes, thank you. I knew there was something that stuck in my craw. I got an email from a listener. I'm not naming names, but somebody took it upon themselves.
Name
guys.
that name.
I don't even know it, so. And I'm not encouraging more of this behavior, but a listener was so upset with Fire of Love and how we misled him that he gave it 30 minutes.
Okay.
Had a hard time with the narration, we
addressed that at length.
and then said the footage wasn't even good. Like it was like old stock footage.
Oh, I don't know about that.
A lot of it was just like archival, like damaged.
Please say you watched the wrong movie.
No, he watched that, but I think that he was. And I actually responded
But they're
kind of
in
an
a lot of the
angry way.
shots.
I'm like, it's not about like some kind of I don't know if he was like looking for like stuff to like use as like backdrops for like his like screensaver.
Did he
Like,
want Avatar? What was he looking for?
maybe we oversold with some of the colors and whatnot, but I don't
He
think
worked for
so.
SoFi Stadium. He wanted to put it on the Jumbotron.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about with the photography. It wasn't that impressive. I'm like, I don't know
disagree.
what you're looking for then. It's all about the proximity and how there are like moments from like just steps away from death in every shot, it seemed like. Fire of Love, guys.
There's some amazingly composed shots, like them in the foreground and the exploding volcanoes in the background.
Oh, you know what? Now I got to look up this email. I got to read it because it's not. I get all sorts of emails, guys, but it's rare that I get one that I'm like, what's going on here?
Can I just take this opportunity while Anderson's looking this up to thank the listeners genuinely for not ever emailing me? I really appreciate that.
He's Brian Bishop at Gmail. Please let him.
That's really you gotta bleep that out. Don't do that.
I thought that was common knowledge.
No,
I thought it was common
I have
knowledge.
passwords attached to that.
I thought that was common knowledge.
No, email me at brian@brianbishop.com. Don't do that.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was a personal. Actually, I didn't even know that was your email. I was taking a guess. All right, here we go. I swear to God, I wasn't sure.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Avery, for an advance.
You gonna bleep that?
Please.
I don't know if we should. Why? I'm taking all the emails. All right, here's the email. I won't name names.
I'm going to redirect it to yours.
On your recommendations, I tried to watch Love on Fire. Well, first of all, maybe that is the wrong movie. Because it's not. It's Fire of Love, right? Love on Fire? Is that what it's called?
Fire of Love.
Yeah, so, okay, maybe he's...
Maybe you watched the wrong movie.
Maybe. No, he didn't.
Love on Fire?
I think the narrator is
What
trying
is
to...
Love on Fire?
Is trying to impersonate David Attenborough, but does so very poorly. This is the listener now, whose name I want him. But I see that what you mean, maybe trying to achieve some ASMR response. You guys failed to mention this movie is entirely in French and thus subtitles. Not true.
Is that a huge,
untrue?
Is that a huge problem, though?
Miranda July, who the narrator, who we went on and on about, she's not speaking French. She's speaking English, and she's walking us through it.
Okay, so he blew it there.
I feel like of all the words spoken, like maybe 60%.
40, maybe 40.
Yeah, they do a lot of dialogue.
The visuals were good, but not nearly as great as you described. I was expecting something on par with Apple TV screensaver image quality, and instead we got good camera work, but it still looked like 50-year-old film.
Yeah, well, it is. It's real film.
I'm not sure
It's
what
not
was
4K.
I'm not sure what was so impressive to you guys. And then
I don't know about that.
I'm sorry if to this listener if I'm making you uncomfortable.
The love was impressive.
The love was
love
really
was fiery.
impressive. When the banging like right at the mouth of the volcano was beautiful.
The climax during the eruption.
Yeah.
They timed it. The fact that there were two volcanoists just
So simultaneous.
who knew
explosion.
exactly and then they had to time their own thing to actually go with it. It was impressive.
Well, you didn't know this, but that's actually the final exam for most volcanologists.
You got to come at the same
time.
Stupid. Why are we such a filthy show? We're not that show.
Stupid.
Oh my God, we still got 3 movies.
I know. We cut out a good 5 minutes.
We cut out an email.
We got a split second.
We're not going to cut it out. We're just going to put a beep over it. Hey,
Nice.
let's take a quick break, yeah?
Let's do a quick
Let's confuse
old
Bryan.
break.
Just to confuse Bryan.
Hey guys, take this time to go watch Fire of Love, and then come back.
Please expect current and 4K IMAX
Yeah, I
quality
know.
shots.
No drone shots.
No.
There's 0 drone shots.
Hey, we're back. Time to talk about. We got a lot of movies to talk about. Anderson, we've been assigned a couple films. Wait, I want to know. I want to know what compelled you. You were insistent that I watch Aftersun.
I wasn't.
You got to watch Aftersun.
I wasn't insistent. And in
You
fact,
were.
I actually ended it saying, I'm not sure you should watch it.
Wish I'd listened.
Yeah? Really? Oh, this is shocking. This is shocking.
Aftersun. This is a 2022 film. What?
Before you go on, let me just ponder this. When did you watch it?
Earlier today.
Oh, well, that's the fucking problem.
Why?
I told you.
Why?
I know I don't listen to you as much as you, and you don't listen. I said, while watching this movie, it's not an enjoyable film at all. You're not enjoying it.
I
as it
heard
goes
that
down.
part.
It's impressive, and it's unique in some ways, but it's what happens after. Like, it just lingers, and I continue to think about this movie. And
I've instantly forgot everything.
I think you will even more so, unless you're missing something. Maybe we'll do a spoiler on this, because this movie's a fucking masterpiece.
Wow. Okay. Convince me. I'm open-minded. Aftersun is a 2022 film written and directed by Charlotte Wells. This is her feature debut. Pretty sure.
Yep.
Starring Paul Mescal and Frankie Corlo. This is a two-hander, as Anderson is fond of saying.
Frankie kills it.
95% of Rotten Tomatoes. You know what? This is proof that I don't always worship my beloved Rotten Tomatoes.
No, you're just lying through your teeth right now, because in your brain, when did you find out 95%?
I was doing my research afterwards.
Oh, I thought it was just now.
No, I
course.
tend to research it before the show.
All right, well, you're grappling with yourself. You'll come around.
I'm on Rotten Tomatoes during the show. Don't get me wrong.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah. You can rent this. It's up for Best Actor for the aforementioned Paul Mescal. I didn't really know Paul Mescal very much.
I don't.
At all.
All right, so he's up for Best Actor for this Academy Awards. Were you blown away by his?
No,
I'm shocked that he's up.
I wrote down what it was. Serviceable performance, but Best Actor? Double question mark.
So I watched this. I didn't even
That's
know
how
he
I
was.
write notes to myself.
I don't. It's true too. He's not kidding. I don't I don't pay attention to the Oscars like you do. Like, it is what it is, but I don't really have much stock in them, and I don't really give a fuck, really, honestly.
I'm heavily invested.
I used to be, but I just don't care anymore. I didn't know that he was up when I watched this.
Daddy's going to make a killing on Brendan Fraser.
When I found out later that he was up, I was shocked. I found out after the fact, and she.
Oh, really?
Is
you saw this without knowing it was even up for an Oscar?
Having no idea it was up for an Oscar.
No shit. Yeah. I was about to say, how'd you hear about it? I'm sure it's on several critics.
It's on several critics' lists. I read about it when it came out. It didn't really pique my interest at all at that time. But since it has made a lot of noise with, like scholars.
I guess you film snobs really enjoy
this. And I watch a lot of those movies just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And a lot of the time, I can't even get through them. But this one is not that.
It's funny. I also have in my notes, once I decided I wasn't enjoying this, I thought to myself, maybe this appeals to certain people. Maybe this hits harder if you're a child of divorce, because this is a young girl played by Frankie Carlo who was going on a vacation with her dad, and you get the impression they don't spend a ton of time together. She lives with her mom, and they're spending a week daddy-daughter time, and things happen. And when I say things happen, I'm not being coy, like things happen. No, that's what the movie is. Things happen.
Yeah,
it's a series of vignettes. And
exactly. It's a female coming of age story to an extent, which you don't see very often.
A little bit, yeah.
Told via vignettes, and it's this father-daughter on a week's vacation in Turkey, and you learn early on that it's probably found footage, and that she's growing.
Found footage?
Yeah, she's growing. Not found footage, but she's watching home movies. She's watching home movies. They take a lot of liberties with that because we pull back and we see that she's watching this in her home, and she's going through the memories of her dad.
There's a camcorder involved.
She's a grown adult, and we have these weird.
This takes place around like the year 2000.
Probably, yeah, about 20 years or so ago. And we get these weird.
The Macarena is featured.
It's true, but they're on vacation, so God knows, I'm sure that's happening right now somewhere.
That's a really good point.
Some tourists are enjoying the Macarena. So don't show me the dance moves, man.
They were quite good.
And then we get these weird smash cuts to like a dance club, contemporary in the modern today, and with strobing lights and whatnot. And we see that she's there as a grown woman, and then we cut back into these memories essentially of, and I was not enjoying much beyond. I wasn't bored by any means, but I wasn't enjoying the movie. It's not on a pop, and it's deliberately.
It lacks
slow.
a driving narrative.
It does. But she was great. I really enjoyed the relationship. Good, yeah. It was an interesting relationship. Turns out he's a bit of a deadbeat. You're learning this as you go. His shit's not together. He's struggling. Young 30s probably. She's 11 years old.
It's before his 31st birthday.
It's right before, yeah. So he had her when he was like 20, when his shit really wasn't together. It's still not really together. And I got to say, this movie, the way that it ended really, really affected me. And,
really?
Yeah. And
Which part?
The very end of the movie.
Okay.
So I would like to talk about this because maybe it didn't land with you for this reason or that, or
you talk about you talk about the birthday celebration.
No.
Okay.
There's
growing.
You see, there's an arc to both their characters throughout, and even though it only takes place for a week, we really see them get to know each other. We get to know them better. We see them change. We get to see their true colors. She goes through some stuff with the coming of age. And it was a very nuanced, very subtle, with a wallop of an ending, like a gut punch.
Wow,
of an ending.
We need to talk about this because I was not walloped.
Okay, well, cool.
My gut was not punched.
Yeah, and as I don't think that if I wasn't a parent, I don't think it would have landed nearly as heavily on with me. This whole movie probably would have been just more of a slog. But it wasn't. I think maybe because I'm older, maybe because I'm a parent. I don't know. I promised that when Jillian got pregnant on this here show that I would not change. I would not change my perspective on movies, which is just one of the more absurd things I've probably ever said.
Single Andy would have hated this.
Single Andy in his 20s would have had no fucking time for this at all. Yeah, but she is great. I hope we see more of her. And I also watched it with the subtitles because their accents were pretty sick.
I tried to turn mine on too. It wouldn't work, but I was reaching for the remote. I'm like, their Scottish brogues were affecting me.
Yeah, at the very least, you got to have the subtitles on rewind. So if you don't catch something, you can rewind with 30 seconds and get the subtitles. So that's nice. So I really enjoyed Aftersun. I'm dumbfounded as to why he's up for Best Actor.
I want to hear more. Yeah, no kidding. One thing I did like about the movie, and it's not it's not. I don't think it's by any means even a bad movie. It's just kind of a tough movie. Tough recommend, tough to get through. One thing I did do, I don't know if you picked up on this. You're filmmaker, so maybe you did.
Sorry, Brian. That hurts to say.
Getting there. Lots of shots showed in reflection. Lots of mirror shots.
Mm-hmm.
Even on TV screens, you see like they will shoot a scene where you're watching the character reflected on like a 2000 era TV screen. Windows, of course. There was even one where you watched him reflected on like the table varnish.
Yep.
I was very impressed by the dexterity.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
I think that was kind of going to for the whole idea of it's not a very clear memory. Like you kind of remember things,
Sure.
and people not through prisms.
Well, how much better do you remember nowadays? Obviously, but back when we were younger, Anderson, how much better do we remember things when there were pictures to jog our memory? Right? Mm-hmm. Like you remember events and people better, at least again, before smartphones were ubiquitous, like you would remember something better because there was a picture of
course.
A photo album
people,
on the wall or whatever.
People from before photographic evidence had no memories of yesterday for the most part.
Is that true?
No, it's not true. But I say all the time, like young kids are going to remember
cave paintings.
They're going to think they remember shit from like when they're like 6 months or 12 months old
Tessa
because they see so many pictures and videos.
Tessa
Like, I remember that.
Yep.
I try and catch Atticus doing that, and so far he hasn't.
Oh, really?
He hasn't lied to me like Tessa apparently does to you.
Either that or she has a remarkable memory.
But it's all about like the memories of life, molding interactions with loved ones.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to talk to you a little bit about the end.
Apparently, I'm in for a wallop.
It was a wallop, Brian, and I can't stop.
Really?
Yeah, I keep thinking, especially as a parent, I keep thinking about it.
Do I need to see this?
No.
Apparently not, because you're kind of like
You're a
Andy.
I'm
heathen.
his age, exactly.
You're a childless heathen.
I think
I'm a childless fuck.
I mean, when I spoil it on the spoiler only, it's not going to really give anything away, even though it will.
So it might intrigue me.
It might intrigue you, but it'll probably intrigue you not to watch it because I think you'll understand why it had such an effect on me. Shocked it didn't have an effect on you. Shocking. Shocked by this. All right, let's move on to listener
I'm struggling
assigned.
to even think of what you're talking about.
Listener assigned movers.
I may have fallen asleep. We got assigned 2 movies this week. Hold on, I got Avery's notes here for the
When they're
assigned
correct
movies.
this time.
All right. You want to talk about Dark Passage, assigned by Matt Rixner, or you want to talk about Night in Paradise, assigned by Tim Mazurek?
Let's do Tim
Mazurek's.
Mazurek's.
Is it Mazurek or
It's
Mazurek?
Mazurek.
Oh.
Just like Missouri. Not very similar to Missouri. And I spoke with him while I was at this ice skating rink, hockey rink with Atticus, and he was doing his practice over there. And he was also there with listener Pete, so I got to talk to the two of them, 2 for 1. Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
Put it on speakerphone, and I gabbed quite a bit, which is what I do. But yeah, he had us watch not Aftersun.
No.
Night in Paradise.
One of the worst titled films I've ever seen. Night in Paradise.
Maybe a translation thing.
Sounds like a good cocktail.
That's a bad translation. 2020 film, written and directed by Park Hoo-jung, writer of I Saw the Devil. Did you know that?
Yes,
you
I
know
did.
that?
Of course.
Am I breaking news here?
No.
Is that the one where he opens his mouth up?
No, that's Itchy the Killer.
Oh.
I Saw the Devils where the guy's fucking
That's
with
my
the
EQ
serial killer the whole time, like slicing his Achilles tendon,
Letting
and
him
setting
go.
free.
then he comes really close to raping his next victim, and then the vengeance protagonist shows up and fucks with him more, and then lets him go, and it's a lot of fun.
It's
It's funny. It's very funny. Might be less
satisfying
blood.
ending.
Might be less blood. And this is a Night in Paradise is a fucking bloodbath.
You texted that to me.
It's a bloodbath.
It's a bath of blood. Starring, I'm going to fuck up these names, so please be gentle with me. Taegu as Park Taegu. Wow, I didn't realize it was the same. Okay. Taegu as Park Taegu. Jeon Yobin as Kim Jae-yoon. Cha Sung as Ma Sung Gil. Ma Sung Gil.
Are you doing bits, or are you just trying
These
to
are the names.
pay respect?
Yeah, these are good performances.
A little of both.
Park Ho-san as Young Do-soo.
Glad you're doing it. I appreciate that because I don't want to have to because I'm bad. I'm really bad. I could barely say Mazurek.
70% Rotten Tomatoes. You can stream this on Netflix if you're a member, a subscriber. This opens with the trope of the gangster with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
This is Park Taegu, and he is a youngish man in the I guess the South Korean. Is it called a yakuza? It's a South Korean mafia, organized crime, whatever. he's having a meeting with his superior, his boss, his whatever, and no, he's having a meeting with someone else. Shit, now I forgot.
It begins with him losing his sister and her daughter.
Yeah, then he goes to the hospital where his sister's being treated, picks her up. He's real kind. He's real friendly.
She's got a terminal disease. She's not going to be around much longer. He's kind of getting prepared to have to, I think, take her daughter, who's a young girl.
That seemed like the plan.
He's probably going to have to be like her faux father because his sister's about to leave this earth soon, we're led to believe. And then a car wreck occurs.
Tragedy befalls her.
And then he's set on a path of...
it turns out it might not have been an accident.
Yeah, which, I think that it wasn't hard to see that that's where that was going.
It was the first 8 minutes of the movie.
So then he has to kind of almost go on like witness protection program because of something, this and that. Like he
was going to cross over gangs. Yeah. Or he was going to break off and like start his own thing.
Yeah, so he was sent to this farm where he meets this another woman. There's Russian mafia over there, and there's a farmer.
Oh, he was hidden.
Tattoos.
Yeah, he was hidden there for some retribution.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And that's where he met the farmer.
Sort of like Michael Corleone in Italy.
Just like that. He deals guns. This farmer deals guns and fish guts. He pulls them out and sells them to other gangsters. And he's got his daughter there who she's playing Russian roulette. That's how we first meet her. And then we learn
she's a firecracker.
We learn that she also is terminally ill, right? And she has nothing to live for.
She's not well.
She's not well. She's zero affect.
Although she didn't appear sick, but yeah, she'll be dying any day.
Yeah. So there's a females with terminal diseases through line here, as we learn. And then one of the first big action set pieces is during the gun purchasing, right?
Okay. Gun transaction.
Transaction with the farmer and whatnot. And immediately they just start stabbing.
The first bloodbath is literally a bloodbath. They're in like a Turkish bath. And vengeance is executed.
It's true. Yeah. But then with the gun purchasing,
yes,
strange that maybe they didn't want to get their new guns used, but they fuck the guns, room full of guns, and they just all start stabbing each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of knife play.
Lots of knife play throughout this movie, like large, like 10-inch blades too, just knife fucking play. Yeah, lots of. Like fetishized, like the slicing and dicing, butchering of human bodies.
There was a little bit of Bill the Butcher in this. Like imagine Bill the Butcher as the South Korean gangster.
Well, imagine if there was like 80 Bill the Butchers.
Actually, the one character is very kind of similar to Bill the Butcher.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. I looked for his name. I don't think that his picture is up on IMDb. I couldn't find him.
I didn't look there.
He was like, so there is a main boss here who does. He's just had an ass full of everyone and just doesn't care, and he's very, very funny. And he's got that bad, dead-eyed, like, I just don't give a fuck about any of you. And he's got some really funny throwaway lines. He was a delight. And what also was a delight about this movie is the trope, the setup. Not even a trope. The setup of she has nothing to live for, so she's a badass bitch who just does not give a shit, right. Which no one has really come across in this movie. Like all the characters are like, wait, you don't care if you live or die. That's weird.
Bad news for me.
That's a new one. It felt very Tarantino-y.
I had a lot of Tarantino references, inspiration.
I mean, I could see him making an entire movie where, like, the lead female is terminal and she doesn't give a fuck, right? So I enjoyed that part of it, but my God, some of the gun porn by the end, I felt irresponsible watching this.
It's ultra violent.
Ultra violent, and I'm like, should I be watching? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of movie that will be cited 5 years from now for one of the mass shootings. Like,
it's funny. The violence never bothered me.
Didn't bother me because
obviously it did.
It was just the amount of it, I guess. You know what I mean?
At a certain point, she became very thorough with her assassinations. Multiple gunshots.
Well, it's set up early that she's good with the gun, right?
Her father's the gun dealer.
Now, there was some cuteness with her and the lead protagonist without giving too much away, but their anti-flirting was kind of fun. I did not buy when he was willing to give up everything to save her because they barely knew each other, but that was very tropey.
Especially since by her own admission, she'll be gone in a matter of days.
This is what my buddy Eric Holmes would call a 3-star banger, whereas like it's 3 stars to me, but some people would absolutely love this movie, I think.
I can see huge fans of this movie. I'm not one of them. I enjoyed it. I think it's above average, 3 stars, like you said.
Like Bryan, Knock at the Cabin. 3-star banger.
3-star banger. Some people would love the Knock at the.
It was fucking amazing.
Wow, he's really turned a corner. It was okay. It was like better than you expected it to be. You were expecting to see a 41%.
Now it's kind of like Aftersun. It's growing in my mind. In my heart. Oh, my balls. I can say things like Anderson's rating. He has no rating.
I heard your balls. A whole lot of knife play. I actually wrote that down. Because, I mean, this movie could have been called Knife Play. Knife Play.
What a better title.
Knife in Paradise.
I liked
Thank you.
Knife in Paradise is
Not
fucking
bad.
fantastic.
Not bad.
I liked I Saw the Devil a little bit more. Just, the same writer. They showed the same writer.
Yeah, this one, like Anderson was alluding to, is a very tropey movie. These are all archetypes of characters you have seen before. They're well done, and it's a good movie. But I Saw the Devil was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not refreshing, but like fresh and like, wow, I've not seen a lot of this.
Mm-hmm. Both of them have cartoony violence.
True.
The main difference, I guess, is people die in this one, whereas I Saw the Devil, it's a two-hander, right? It's just
True.
It's cat and mouse, and it's just like, it's just shy of taking out giant mallets. In fact, there might have been a mallet to the head in I Saw the Devil. I mean, just the amount of
I'd have to go back
cartoony,
and look.
violent abuse that happened in I Saw the Devil without actual death until there was some.
Torture porn. It's
was-
walking torture porn.
It is walking. It's walking, chasing cat and mouse torture porn. But yeah, I feel like some of these Korean directors are just trying to say, "Oh, you thought your movie was bloody?"
It's a one-upmanship.
Yeah, there is some one-upmanship with this. They still do the Category 3 over there, the Cat 3.
I don't know what that is. Is that Ethernet cable?
It was a big thing there with the with Korean films there for a while. It's like NC-17, R-rated. It's their rating system, but they have Category 1, Category 2,
Oh, I didn't
Category
know
3.
that. At one point, you think a man's going to get headbutted to death.
You do.
It comes very close.
He pretty much was. I mean, in real life, right? But no, there is some good back and forth with the comedy, and some of the earlier stuff, like Human Pork Chop that I watched, like it was a Korean film from way back when. Like the tonal shifts were jarring back in the day, and
They've smoothed it out a little
they
bit.
definitely have smoothed.
This
out.
is more like chunky peanut butter.
Yeah.
Not smooth, but it flows.
Cat 3.
When you Google Cat 3, you mostly get porn results.
Oh, really?
Like Cat 3 Korean movies porn videos at letmejerk.net.
Yeah,
Come jerk to the best Korean porn out
that
there.
direction too,
Old sex porn movie for free.
Well, Cat 3 is also a return. It's about the violence, not just the sexual.
Let me jerk? Why, as though he's being prevented in some way?
and with the fist emoji.
Oh,
Is this just some user like looking for?
No, this is letmejerk.net. This is Google. I Googled Cat 3 Korean films, and that's the 7th result.
careful with it. Don't get that on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I was
I
going to
should've
say
done
it's
this
on
in
his
a-
Wi-Fi now.
Should have done this in incognito. You had me just Google Cat 3 like I was going to go, a category
yeah,
for bloody
Do that
films
for
in
NC-17.
Korea.
I wonder if it's gonna be the same
Please
thing. Because I think
don't.
people are more motivated to search for actually
My child uses my phone sometimes.
NC-17. Let's see if it's all like
No, a
porn
Wikipedia
related.
list of NC-17 rated films. The 15 best NC-17 movies ever released.
Good topic.
Not bad.
MPAA definition
I've never
of it.
seen one.
You probably haven't seen one. What's the definition of NC?
Can I include on
It's
rated
just you
films?
can't be get a ticket without an adult.
One
unless
that
you're
most parents
over
would consider. It's too, what do we got? Oh, this is just some.
I was thinking of, speaking
Bullshit.
of NC-17, while you're looking at that, I was thinking about your story of how you went to see Irreversible in theater. Footnote to a footnote, reversible. coming
Yeah.
out.
And what is
The
that? Why
straight
are they
cut.
doing that?
I don't know.
that 'cause-
Stupid.
Because Avatar is about to leave, so they need to fill the theaters with something. So
People are hungry for entertainment.
Irreversible. Don't quote me on this because I say some erroneous things, but I think it's 7 edits. So there's 7 different long takes in Irreversible, and they're all backwards. I mean, they're all the last uncut scene is the first scene you see, and so on until and they've recut
Memento
the movie.
style.
Yeah, Mementos. But the difference is like they're long takes or oneers. Right?
sure.
So I think there's 7 of them.
The part,
So they've reorganized it now, so it goes. And I've always said the movie's less impressive if you.
I know. What makes it special is that it's.
A lot makes it special.
Speaking of which, your story of going to see in the theater and seeing the sign that said there
Never
are
seen that
no
before.
refunds,
Yeah.
no refunds for walkout.
I've never
It
seen.
occurred to me, how many walkouts must they have had to refund before they erected the sign?
Oh, Brian, it got worse than that. Remember, I went back and saw it a week later. Because it's a great story. It's one of my favorite movie-going
So I'm
stories.
saying,
and I
how
want-
many people demanded their money back for we got to put a sign up?
No, they went beyond that. The next week when I went to see Irreversible for the second time in this little theater, which is no longer there.
Did I sign a waiver?
It was on La Brea. No, the house lights never went fully down. And I went out to the, I might have gone out during
People
the
can
movie.
find their way out.
Yeah, that was exactly why. So many people were stumbling and falling trying to leave the theater
That's
in
amazing.
Irreversible. And this is, 2001, I think. So movies have come a long way since then. And
I disagree.
we've seen a lot more skull
That's the
crushing
peak of
since then.
cinema. Yeah.
But yeah. All right, we're going to do a little dark passage here. Matt Rixner assigned us Dark passage. You had something to say there?
No. Just think about letmejerk.net.
Think about that on your own time. Dark Passage. Take her away.
Dark Passage is a 1947 film written and directed by Delmer Daves, starring Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, and Agnes Moorehead. 90% Rotten Tomatoes. You can rent this for like $2 or whatever it is. This is a film I'm ashamed to admit I would not have been able to identify this as a Bogey and Bacall joint.
Yeah, kind
of. It was under my radar.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So it opens up with an escape attempt or a successful escape from.
We open up with a
San
broadcaster, I think, explaining that there's been a escape from San Quentin prison, and there is a fugitive on the loose.
That sounds pretty par for the course. 1947 noir film, right? You know, it's at least half of them started off with an escape from or somebody getting put in prison, right? But what made this one different is it was POV. I'd say 80% of the shots for the first 15 minutes or so, right, are POV shots.
No, well, every time, if not everything, there's obviously some establishing shots or whatever, but like every time you're seeing and hearing Humphrey Bogart, you're seeing his point of view. You never see the man's face. You're seeing what he sees. And that was kind of, I'm not a film scholar. I don't know how revolutionary that was. I got to imagine other films employed first-person POV at that point, but to make basically the whole first act first person. Don't Google first person point of view on my fucking Wi-Fi.
Will you do me a favor, Avery? Because I meant to do this, and will you look it up and look in a little trivia section on IMDb and see if there's any reason why they did this, logistical reason as to why they did it this way?
Are you shitting me?
Which way?
What?
For what?
Why do you think they?
What? No. You must be misunderstanding me. I'm wondering if they didn't have access to Humphrey Bogart and their, the factors.
What?
What? What's the problem?
That's very obvious why they did it.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I really do. I think there might have been like some kind of financial purpose or reason, or maybe he was not available to do.
Are you being serious?
No.
Okay.
I'm 100. No, for them to take it as far as they took it, or why they put him in this role, or if they were motivated to do so as a result. I do think that there might be something more to it. I understand what you're saying, Brian. I understand how you're.
This is insane.
No, it's okay.
I'm lost.
So here's the story. All right, it's kind of a fun one to break down.
Henry's just lost his mind.
I've lost my mind as well.
There was ways that they could have done this. There was very little.
No, there's not.
There's very little Humphrey Bogart in this movie other than voiceover, right?
Yes.
Because here's the story, and I want to lay it out because it's fun to lay out.
I think we can get up to the point where
for sure we can. There's really no way to spoil this movie. And Matt Rixner, who assigned this to us, and I talked about it yesterday, the day before, and we both agreed. Like the first half of this movie is interesting. Second half just kind of
boilerplate.
Neither here nor there. But the first half was interesting, and that is he escapes from prison and he needs to have a new life, right? And he needs to have a new.
Well, no. He wants to go back to San Francisco, where San Quentin is near, and find Lauren Bacall.
Yes.
Right. So he's actually not trying to start a new life. He's trying to go back to his old life.
And she happens to.
Oh no! Wait, sorry.
No, yeah.
I fucked that up.
He doesn't even know her. She comes and she saves him. He's in a quagmire. I would like to start by saying that there early in the movie when he's escaping, he's in a trash can, right, on the back of a truck. The old get it out of the prison in a trash can. And you can see the hands.
The old laundry basket.
And you can see that the thing starts moving back and forth. There was like an actual guy in that.
Oh, yeah. That was a real stunt.
And he had to roll off a moving truck that went down a hill. And then they put the camera inside for the POV shot of that. That was interesting.
Fucking back looks like yours.
Look, I know what you're saying. Okay, so
this is the first film where Humphrey Bogart wore a full hairpiece?
No, that's not. That's not nice to poor Humphrey. I mean, why is he wearing a hairpiece? He was balding? I didn't understand.
Would have to hide that beautiful dome.
I do think that there's something. Okay, so she is. Turns out she comes and she saves his ass, and it's quite convenient. And it's because she has a father who was wrongly convicted, right?
Yeah, and then she became obsessed with the trial. It was in the news for killing his wife, I guess. She becomes obsessed. She follows him. She
saves him,
comes across him.
Yeah. And she puts him in her house and gives him whatever he needs. And then he, at one point, takes a cab, right? And the cab driver inexplicably says, hey, I know who you are. I know you're running from the cops. I know they want you. I know a guy who can do facial reconstructive surgery on you. Get an appointment in an hour available if you like. He can completely change your face, make you look 10 years older, and give you a whole new identity. What do you say?
Very convenient.
It might be one of the most convenient things I've ever seen in any movie.
You don't know they have all those off-book facial reconstructive surgeons in San Francisco?
At first, I thought like he must be set up by like Bacall, like put him up to this, and like
It did feel a little. I was anticipating a little more. What was the one? A Nightmare Alley.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it wasn't that.
It was So,
but wait, okay. This is the part where now I'm going insane because it's very obvious why they did the first person point of view to that extent. It's the same voice. It's Humphrey Bogart's voice, but you see through the picture on the paper, he looks very, 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 very different as the escaped convict. And once he has the plastic surgery, which they allude to, then he looks like Humphrey Bogart.
It was very
interesting.
interesting.
So it wouldn't have made sense.
Of course, but I know what you're saying, and maybe I did kind of lose my mind for half a second, but it didn't have to go on as long as it did, and it felt like they were taking advantage of not needing Bogart on the scene.
The producers were not happy.
Yeah.
To discover that he wasn't shown in the first half, and by the time Jack Warner knew this, it was too far along to be changed.
You see, it's like the first half of the movie. I didn't mark down when it was, but the movie was more than half over before we actually see him check out his face. And in classic,
like he takes off the bandages and like, hey, I'm Humphrey Bogart.
Classic Bogart, like he's just not. He's like, this is my new face.
And by the way,
I can get
for a guy who recently had major surgery, he is very mobile. He is very ambulatory. He's
zero
walking all around,
scars.
climbing. He had no scars.
Yeah.
There have been very little. What's it called when you kill the germs? Very little sanitation.
Yes, antiseptic.
Yeah, exactly. They're. He's very casual.
I wonder if the original script had this like set in the future because it's like this is where we're heading.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
That would make a lot more sense.
Face Off.
But I feel like they could have gotten the script seemed to be prolonged to getting his facial reconstructive surgery, and it seems like they were playing.
They're like, what are we paying Bogart for?
It seemed like they were doing something to like tax angle or I don't know, overlapping. I don't know. It seemed like they didn't need to spend that much time to get to where it was. And then the second half of the movie, you can almost feel them chasing Alfred Hitchcock and be like, "Oh, this is going to be Hitchcockian."
Second half was a little, like I said,
convoluted,
standard.
It's a little too convoluted with the
convoluted,
storyline.
but I think convoluted is kind of par for that era and that genre. Maybe. You know what I mean? Like a lot of very
plot points,
convenient things converge.
A lot of story. There's a whole lot of story. But all in all, I enjoyed this.
I did too. We're nitpicking because it's it's of a different era, it's a certain genre, whatever. But overall, I did enjoy Dark Passage.
I talked with Matt about this a little bit too, as far as Bogart. I just don't get it. I don't understand how he was the guy. I think today he would just be a good character actor. Yeah.
Yeah. How did Bogey become?
How did he become the leading man? And I know some people are hearing this and they're like swerving off the road because they're giant Bogey fans, but.
Well, he's a talented actor, so that wins out.
But he has no range. None.
But for the era, also, like just.
But did John Wayne have range?
But he was like there was something very John Wayne-y.
You know what I mean?
Bogart,
yes, exactly.
He's got the Bogart thing, but I mean it's not that. It's just cool and collected and nonplussed, right? Lacking affect.
I guess in The African Queen, he was a little more.
Fucking hated that movie. I
really
you
assigned it to me.
I hate it. I never assigned you African Queen. You did it because it was on someone's list. Like
that's probably true.
Old white man's like, these are 100 movies you got to see before you die. See?
Before you're no longer white.
Yeah. All right, Dark Passage was very interesting just with all the camera angles and shots. And the first time him wearing a hairpiece apparently is also of note.
Didn't know that.
The more you know.
That I didn't
The more
know.
you know. We should come in here with hairpieces one day, Brian.
How dare you?
This reminded
my whole
me
identity
of a movie with Rock Hudson from a number of years later in the 60s called Seconds.
Okay.
And that was also about new identity and facial reconstructive surgery. But that was about a guy who was tired of his boring wife and his boring kid and his boring job, and he wanted to live the life of a beatnik.
To break out.
Yeah, he wanted to live like an artist in Malibu, and he was able to afford that and get a new face.
Right.
I'm sure it was unironic. It was just, yeah,
it was.
Do this.
It really was. I was shocked. I'm watching this movie like last year.
Good for you, brother.
And it was like, was like, this is acceptable? Like, you're not supposed to just absolutely hate this piece of shit that just wants to walk out on his family because he's bored?
Like,
No, you're
like
supposed to want to be him like he's Superman.
That's how it was.
It's aspirational.
It was. Seconds. Unbelievable.
What I wouldn't give.
Shocking.
All right.
Aftersun. We're going to talk about it in the spoilers. I think maybe also I relate with the dad.
After show.
A little bit, maybe more so.
Aftershock.
So, especially at that age, the way I was living.
All right. Hey, Aftersun, guys. So if you're a Patreon member, you'll be able to hear it ASAP. If you're not, sign up just for $5 a month. You can hear all of our. We have a huge library of like
Huge
spoiler-filled thoughts.
Yep. You can search, like, if you've seen a movie recently and we've done a spoiler on it, you can do little search keys
You're
over
like,
there.
wow, what did they think of us?
Oh, we did some
did
talk
us.
about us, yeah. Usually like 5 to 8 minute episodes. This might even be
Bite
shorter.
size.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks. Hold on, I got the notes here. Thanks especially to Tim Mazurek and Matt Rixner.
Mazurek.
You said Mazurek,
Yeah.
like Missouri.
Yeah.
For assigning us films. If you guys want to assign us a film, you can sign up on our Patreon at the assigner level. And just 6 months as an assigner, and you get to assign us a film that will be discussed, reviewed in exquisite honesty and detail here on the Film Vault. AndersonandBryan.com is the website. That's where you go to see Spy Device. They are our featured artist this week. Check them out, AndersonandBryan.com. AndersonandBryan.com is where you find everything Film Vault, including the Amazon banner that we appreciate you using for your shopping needs. Anderson and Bryan Instagram, Anderson and Bryan TikTok, The Film Vault on Facebook, The Film Vault on Twitter, The Film Vault podcast on YouTube. YouTube.com is the address there for YouTube.
Yes.
I don't have much else to say.
I just got an email about police stuff, so I had to read it. I'm sorry. I came
Oh, I
in
wanna
fresh
hear
for
about
that. No, talk to you.
Thanks to our Patreon listeners. Thanks to everyone who helps the show go. We're talking about Giovanni. Talking about Mitch. Oh, Giovanni and Mitch Burns.
Giovanni.
Did like a 6-hour marathon podcast.
I heard about that.
I think they're releasing it in pieces.
The Film Vaulters?
Yeah.
That'll be good.
That
That'll
is
be
way
good.
too much Film Vault. Mitch Burns, Mike Cole, and Eric Kath. Check out Addie's Antiques. Coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, in April will be the 1-year anniversary of running around and reestablishing the mid-century stuff for anyone who would like to have some in their home. We go out and save it.
Look at you.
Yeah. And we replace it.
Avery, you got a gig coming up this
Give it a
weekend?
new life.
I do. You can get tickets at the dollfacedames.com. I'm going to be opening up for a burlesque show this Friday in Westwood at Biblos,
Oh, that's the one.
Greek place,
That's the one.
at 8 p.m. So get on out there.
Busy. Check out that. Check out Invade the Decade. And until next time.
We do it for Van Gogh.
Ready?